Welcome everyone to my first Guitorial video. As I promised, I'm going to try to get this done over the weekend and then get it out to you guys by Monday or Tuesday. So here we go. It's my first time doing one of these. So bear with me. Hopefully I'm going to be working on these as we go along, so hopefully the quality starts to get better over time. Yeah, I've been teaching myself I've been trying different ways to record and shoot the video and get the audio and video synced up and all that kind of stuff. I think I've got something figured out that's going to work for right now anyway. As I said, things will get better as we go along, and hopefully the quality of the video gets better too. And my style of teaching is probably going to be a little rough in this first video, so like I said, bear with me. I appreciate you guys asking me to do these. That's really cool. I love to teach, so this is a cool thing for me. I'm enjoying going down this road. So, first song we want to take a look at is a song called 3 Strange Days by a band called School of Fish. This is a 90s band, early 90s, mid 90s, and they released at least 2 albums that I know of. And if you're a guitar player in any kind of way, I definitely recommend checking these guys out. Check out both albums, actually. Really good stuff on both albums. Good guitar work. Very underrated kind of band. They didn't really rise to stardom like I thought they were going to, especially after listening to their first album. I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are destined for good stuff. And they just kind of... They released that second album and then faded into oblivion, so I don't get it. I loved it. Anyways, really good stuff. So, on the album, before 3 Strange Days starts, there's a little piece called, I think it's called Introduction or Intro, that's played in the key of D, and that song, it's got a cute little riff in it, and it's a cool little thing, and lots of harmony vocals. It's really cool, and it's an quick little instrumental piece that devolves from the key of D to the key of B flat at the very end of it. And that leads us into 3 Strange Days. Now, the guitar for this is in drop D, so you're going to take your low E string and you're going to turn that, to make it sound like your D string, basically. Make those sound the same. And you're going to want kind of a gritty, distorted, maybe a little higher gain sound for the guitar work that you're going to do in this. Because a couple things are going to happen here. We're going to be looking at some pinch harmonics later on. We're going to want to do some tapped harmonics here at the very beginning, and that's going to work better if you've got a higher gain or a little bit of overdrive going on. Not a little bit, a lot of overdrive going on, really, to make it work. All right, so once the band finishes that little introduction and the song starts, the first thing that happens is, and I'm going to assume that you guys kind of have a little bit of knowledge. I'm going to try not to break down everything and make it too basic. I think for my style, that's just going to take too long. I can get really windy and wordy sometimes. So if I try to keep it a little more as if I'm talking to somebody that's a moderate level guitar player, I think these lessons will go a little bit smoother, at least for me in the beginning. So let's start there. So as they come out of that introduction and the band's in the key of B flat, kind of vamping on that, the lead guitar kind of fades in with this Jimi Hendrix kind of B flat, Purple Haze introduction kind of thing, where he's on the D string on the 8th fret, and he's shaking the shit out of it and fading that in, and this is where the tapped harmonics comes in for the intro. He goes down to the 6th fret on the D string, and we start tapping. Let me show you the bottom sequence first. Down here, it's 6 on the D, 8 on the D, 7 on the G, 8 on the G, and then back down to 7 on the G, 8 on the D, 6 on the D. So it's... kind of shaking that 8th fret G note when you get up there. But anyway, so to tap, you're going to come up here and you're going to be tapping on the 16th fret D string, 18, 17 on the G, sorry, 18 on the G, back down to 17, 18 on the D, 16 on the D. And you're tapping right over the fret that's in front. Right over the fret that's in front of the space, the 16th space that we're talking about, 16, 18, 17, 18. So it's going to be kind of a... And you're going to end on that 16th tap, 6th fret down here on the D string. So band comes in, drums come in, and then we get to our opening riff, or the verse riff, really is what it is. And what's cool about this is the song's in 4/4, so it's 1 2 3 4 1 2. It's got a 4/4 kind of beat, but this riff kind of makes it feel like it's an odd time signature, because what we're doing here is we're playing a sequence of 5, then 2, then basically another 5 kind of riffs on, or bashes out on the strumming pattern. But again, drop D, right? So we're going to do our chord here is going to be, and we're just focusing on the top 3 strings, right? So we're going to be on the, actually not even that. We're focusing on the E string and the D string. So 6th fret on the E string, or I'm sorry, 8th fret. So 8th fret on the E string, 8th fret on the D string. And then we're going to take our index finger and drag that behind the D string on the 6th fret. And I'm using my ring finger on the E string and my pinky on the D string. And you're just bashing out those 2 chords. And we're going to do a sequence of 5, da-na-na-na, kind of. And when you hit that last strum, or that last part of the strumming pattern, you're going to lift your pinky up, and you're going to play that 6th fret on the D string. So it's going to sound like this, right? And you're just trying to play those 2 strings. I'm muting the A string with the meat from my ring finger. Now here's the thing: we're going to do 5 of those. So you're going to count 5 of those little picking patterns. Strumming patterns, I should say, sorry. And then what we're going to do, you're going to hit it, you're going to come back, and you're going to do 2 more strums on that. So and then we're going to switch the chord. I'm going to use my index finger to bar across the 6th fret on the D string and the A string. I'm sorry, the E string and the A string. And I'm leaving my pinky on the 8th fret on the D string. And it's going to be the same thing. You're going to do 2 of them. And then 1. Okay. Again, it's a timing thing. It's a feel thing, and this is what makes the whole thing feel like it's an odd time signature, but it's really not. So together, those 2 pieces go like this. Oh, sorry, I should have hit that once at the end, and I had strung it twice. So, okay, one more time. And then the last chord in the sequence is you're going to take your index finger, slide it down to the 5th fret, take your middle finger, you're going to put it down on the 6th fret on the A string, and you're going to leave your pinky right where it's at, and we're going to do kind of a da-na, da-na, kind of a strumming pattern. All together. Okay? that's how that goes. I'm going to show you something cool about that too when they do the key change at the end of the song. But anyway, that's your verses. You're going to do that throughout the verse. And then when the chorus comes in, we're back to kind of with the opening riff, except we're not tapping it. We're just picking it out. So what I'm doing is a hammer on the D string from the 6th fret to the 8th fret. And then on the G string, we're picking 7th fret, 8th fret, 7th fret. Back down to the 8th fret on the D, back down to the 6th fret on D. And again, we're shaking that 8th fret on the G string when we get up there. Now during this part, in the first chorus, he tosses in a couple of pinch harmonics in there every once in a while, so you can, and I know most people do a pinch harmonic by rolling up their thumb onto the pick a little bit, so that a little bit of the meat from their thumb hits the string and gets that pinch harmonic. That's never been comfortable for me for some reason, so I do it weird. I drag my pinky behind my picking as I'm picking, and I get the... So my pinky's kind of dragging as I'm picking. And so throw a few of those in there, and then when you get to the end of that first chorus, he does kind of a back down to 7, but then back up to the 8, and he bends it a bit, kind of almost a full bend. Oops. And then up to the 8th fret on the B string, and he does bend and a half, really a full bend and a half. So. Yeah, up to the 11th fret he's bending. So. And then it's back into the verse riff again. All right, so then we're back into the second. We're coming into the second verse now. We get into the second verse, which is the same as the first verse. So that same verse pattern. And every once in a while, he tosses in a little, I think, like a little pentatonic thing in there, B flat pentatonic kind of stuff. Anyway, then it's into another chorus, and the same thing. Chorus is going to be the same thing. We're back into our little opening riff again. Except in the second chorus, he's tossing in just a few more pinch harmonics than he did in the first chorus, just kind of break things up a little bit. And then from there, we jump into the bridge. There's kind of two parts to this bridge too. So the first part of the bridge, I've heard people talk about this part and how they say it's kind of just a bashing on a C sharp 7th chord is what it is, which would be bar across the 4th fret, 6th fret on the D string with your index finger, and 6th fret on the B string with your pinky. That's the way I play it anyway. And he's just kind of a... And then it's into a pentatonic kind of a little fill there, basically. Remember your drop D, so you got to adjust your pentatonic scale up on the E string, basically. A couple of frets, 2 frets. What I hear a little bit of a slide up at the very end of that C sharp riff. So I hear this. Something along those lines. And then do it a second time. And we stop right there. And we get into the second part of the bridge. Now here, I'm going to play, I go down and I play a B flat bar chord. So that's 1st fret, A string, 3rd fret D string, 3rd fret G string, and I'm just playing those 3 strings. So kind of slide it down a little bit, and then I'll adjust that chord, and I take my index finger off and leave my ring finger on the 3rd fret D string, and I move the pinky off of the 3rd fret G string, and I use my middle finger to hit 2nd fret G string. So it's open A, 3rd fret D, 2nd fret G, and it's kind of a weird F chord. I think really it's kind of an F with an A bass kind of sounding thing. So you get that sound. So together you get this coming out of the first part of the bridge. And then you're going to bar across the 6th fret, play the top 3 strings, and that's basically a B flat bar chord. And then I play an E flat bar chord, which is 6th fret on the A string, 8th fret D, 8th fret G. And you do that basically twice, so it's going to sound like this. And you hold that last E flat out twice as long as you did the first one, because now we're getting into the part of where the key change happens in the song. We go up a whole step, up a half step from B flat to B, and this is kind of the genius part of this riff, because now what happens is in the key of B, it's the same structure, same shapes we were playing and strumming pattern that we were playing in the verses before. We're just up 1 fret. Now we're on 9th fret, 9th fret, 7th fret, and we now have the option to use the 2 bottom strings open, and that kind of not only the key change adds to kind of lifting the song up a bit, but adding those open strings to the end of this riff kind of makes the whole thing feel bigger, basically bigger, wider, kind of a cool sound. So first part of the riffs, I'm just sticking to the 2 strings that we're playing here. So and when we get to this last chord, what I'm doing is I'm spelling it out the same way, right? Index finger on the 6th fret, middle finger on the 7th fret A string, 9th fret D string. I'm muting the G string with the meat from my pinky, the bottom meat from my pinky, so you don't hear that. And I'm leaving the B and the E string, the high B and the E string open. Ooh. There it is. So the riff sounds like this in the 3rd verse. Right, and you really get those 2 strings open, kind of add to the whole thing and make it big and open sounding. And so now, same thing. We're just playing through the whole thing. There's a few pentatonic riffs in here in the 3rd verse that he's kicking off. Like one of them is hammer on from the 9th to the 11th fret on the A string, hammer on from the 9th to 11th fret on the D string, slide up to the 13th on the D, and then slide down to the 9. Not really slide, you just come down and grab that 9th. It's a little riff like that's happening, things like that. But other than that, the riff's the same. It's just you're adding those 2 open strings at the bottom now. And then the chorus comes in, and it's the same thing. We're playing that little the opening riff. We're just up a fret. So now it's 7 to 9 on the D, and then 8 to 9 on the G. you start throwing little riffs in the end there. He's playing basically in the B pentatonic minor scale, kind of hanging around there, you know, the... Whatever you want to do, basically. It's, you know, I'm sure they never played the exact same thing they played on the record when they played that live, so... Anything in the B pentatonic minor scale around there, you know, with some tastiness is going to sound pretty good at the end of the song. And then the whole band just kind of comes down, and, you know, we do a little riff down. And you end on that last... There's a third that comes in there, so this chord's kind of funky. It's a little weird to hit, but if you can get it, cool. If not, have your other guitar player, you know, hit it, the rhythm guitar player that's in the band, if you're playing in a cover band. But this is going to be 9th on the E string, 9th on the D string, and then 8th on the G string. And you kind of get a big kind of chord like that at the very end of the song. So that's it. Those are the parts and that make up that song. I know I was excited when I figured this out. I think what it was when I finally sat down and said, you know, because as a guitar player, this was one of those songs that kind of haunted me for a while. And like, how the hell is he doing this? You know. And eventually, when I took the time to sit down and learn it, I went out and watched a few videos. And I think there's a video of them playing live at some MTV Music Awards thing or something like that. And I finally got a chance to glimpse at his fingers and see what he was doing, and then realized that he was in drop D, and that kind of changed the whole thing around, and then paid it, you know, really got into thinking about listening to that strumming pattern that he's doing in the verses and picking that apart, and then from there it just took some practice to get it fluid, you know, especially while you're playing along with the song or playing along with other musicians. Yeah, if you're off by a little bit, you can probably cover up a little thing here or there, but if you get off with that particular strumming pattern during the verses, the whole song kind of falls apart. So you know, as the lead guitar player in that song, you really got to try to be on point with at least that verse riff. The rest of it's kind of bashing out bar chords and stuff, you know. So, all right, guys. Again, thank you everybody for all the great comments, and I'm excited to do more of these. Hopefully, the quality of these get better down the road as I. Learn how to do this and you know, get comfortable doing it, and you know, develop my teaching style, which I got a couple of students that I play with throughout the week, you know, but I haven't actually done formal kind of this kind of formal type training stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. Right now, if you want to kind of show me some support or anything, you know, support, what you can do is check down the description. There's a couple of albums that I've released over the past few months. That's why I was away from making the Frankie Jams videos, by the way. I was focusing on finishing up a bunch of original music that I've been writing, and I haven't been able to write lyrics, so it's all instrumental stuff. So I put out an album called Music to Write Your Own Lyrics To, and it's all instrumental music that I put together. It's all set up with, you know, verse, chorus, so it's all the singer has to do, or lyricist, is come in and you know, write lyrics for whatever they want to do. So I figured, if I can't write lyrics to my own music, at least I can put the music out and you know, let people write their own lyrics to it and have fun with it. So that's what that album's for. But I'll put the link down in the description if you guys want to check that out and stream it. You know, for every stream, you know, I get a couple of cents thrown my way, so that's kind of cool. All right, guys, that's it. Hopefully this comes out well, and it's appreciated. Hopefully I've helped a few of you guys. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to put it in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to get out there, start reading them on a regular basis, and answering your questions as they come in. And like I said, I'll get better at doing these. I thought about doing a close-up shot of the fretboard to you, but I didn't have a second camera to do it with. I'll probably just wind up using my iPhone if I can figure out how to get things set up and do that. But it's kind of a one-man operation at the moment, so I'm doing the best I can for you guys to at least get this kicked off. And yeah, so thanks for your support on this, and I look forward to doing more of these soon. All right, guys. Ciao for now.